evening, everyone. While we're waiting till right to 7:30 before we actually start, for those of us joining in with the chanting this evening, we'll be chanting from the dark brown volume. We have two different volumes. It'll be the dark brown volume, and we'll chant the teaching on mindfulness of breathing. And it's on page 85. 85. And this is line by line, Pali scripture language and then English. And it's the pivotal key teaching that the Buddha gave on the meditation of mindfulness of breathing. And before we start with the actual chanting of this teaching, we'll do the Namo Tassa Bhagavato. We'll do that 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Andamaya Gnanapanasati Sutta-patang Pranamase Anapanasati Bhikkhave Bhavita Bahulikata. Because when mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, Mahapala Hoti Mahani Sangsa, it is of great fruit and great benefit. Anapanasati Bhikkhave Bhavita Bahulikata. When mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated,
Jataro satipatthane paripureti. It fulfills the four foundations of mindfulness. Jataro satipatthana bhavita bahulikata. When the four foundations of mindfulness are developed and cultivated, Zata bojange paripurenti, they fulfill the seven factors of awakening. Zata bojanga bhavita bahulikata. When the seven factors of awakening are developed and cultivated, Vijang vimuting paripurenti, they fulfill true knowledge and deliverance. Katang bhavita chabhikave yana panasati katang bahulikata. And how, because is mindfulness of breathing developed and cultivated, Mahapala hoti mahani sangsa, so that it is of great fruit and great benefit. Yida bhikkhave bhikkhu, here bhikkhus of bhikkhu, aranyagatoa, gone to the forest, rukamulagatoa, to the foot of a tree, sunyagadagatoa, or to an empty hut. Nisidati palankang apujitva, sits down having crossed his legs. Ujung kayang panidaya parimukang sating upatapetva, sets his body erect, having established mindfulness in front of him. So sato wa asasati, sato wa pasasati. Ever mindful he breathes in, mindful he breathes out. Digang wa asasanto, digang asasamiti pajanati. Breathing in long, he knows I breathe in long. Digang wa pasasanto, digang pasasamiti pajanati. Breathing out long, he knows I breathe out long. Rasang wa asasanto, rasang asasamiti pajanati. Breathing in short, he knows I breathe in short. Rasang va pasasanto, rasang pasasamiti pajanati. Breathing out short, he knows I breathe out short. Sadbhakaya pati sangvedi asasisamiti sikati. He trains thus in experiencing the whole body. Sambhakaya pati sangvedi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus. I shall breathe out experiencing the whole body. Pasambayang kaya sankarang asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus. I shall breathe in tranquilizing the bodily formations. Pasambayang kaya sankarang pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus. I shall breathe out tranquilizing the bodily formations. Piti pati sangvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus. I shall breathe in experiencing rapture. Piti pati sangvedi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out experiencing rapture. Sukapati sangvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe in experiencing pleasure. Sukapati sangvedi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out experiencing pleasure. Chitta sankara pati sangvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe in experiencing the mental formations. Chitta sankara pati sangvedi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out experiencing the mental formations. Pasambayang chitta sankarang asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe in tranquilizing the mental formations. Pasambayang chitta sankarang pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out tranquilizing the mental formations. Chitta pati sangvedi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe in experiencing the mind. Chitta pati sangvedi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out experiencing the mind. Abhippamodayang chittang asasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe in gladdening the mind. Abhippamodayang chittang pasasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe out gladdening the mind. Samadahang chittang asasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe in concentrating the mind. Samadahang chittang pasasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe out concentrating the mind. Vimochayang chittang asasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe in liberating the mind. Vimochayang chittang pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus, I shall breathe out liberating the mind. Anicca nupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe in contemplating impermanence. Anicca nupasi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe out contemplating impermanence. Viraga nupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe in contemplating the fading away of passions. Viraga nupasi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe out contemplating the fading away of passions. Nirodha nupasi asasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe in contemplating cessation. Nirodha nupasi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains us, I shall breathe out contemplating cessation. Patinissagga nupasi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus. I shall breathe in contemplating relinquishment. Patinissagga nupasi pasasi samiti sikati. He trains thus. I shall breathe out contemplating relinquishment. Evan bhavita ko bhikkhave anapanasati evan bahulikata. Because that is how mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated. Mahapala hoti mahani sangsati, so that it is of great fruit and great benefit.
Okay, please let's establish ourselves in a meditation posture, seated meditation, whatever posture, within that seated posture, whatever posture supports each of us as an individual. Maybe we're in a chair, on a bench, one cushion, two cushions, three, doesn't matter. What matters is being able to sit relatively still for a sustained period of time. So much of the Buddha's instruction that he left behind for us, chanted this evening, a huge portion of it, and it begins really with the body. So, as I suggested, to establish a posture, so we don't want to be sitting in a way that is difficult or painful. Of course, pains do arise. Sitting still for actually doesn't take very long before we feel uncomfortable in some way. But to check the posture, check the alignment. Are we slumping? Are we overly tense or rigid? Are we trying to straighten our spines? Spines are not straight if you look at them from the side. Looking at it from the front or back, ideally, it has a straight line, but from the side, it shouldn't be straight. In fact, if we have a straight spine, it's trouble. That's problematic. So we should make sure we're not trying to create some sort of ideal posture that's actually far from ideal. So maybe imagine a straight line, a plumb line between, if you were looking from the side, so from the center of the ear canal, center of our shoulder, the shoulder socket and the hip socket, and then all the curves within that can happen naturally and support us. So just imagine in our mind's eye that plumb line, Also not dipping the chin or raising the chin. And for me personally, I don't consider these preliminary exercises. I consider them, this is it, this is mindfulness of body. Already establishing our attention, gentle attention on the body, caring attention. So aligning the skeleton, our skeleton, and then maybe just imagine all of the myriad muscles that we have, all the muscles, tendons, and that they're just relaxed, draped over our skeleton. Just using enough energy to keep us in this posture, poised yet relaxed. Doing a few minutes of what's often referred to as body sweeping. This is sweeping our attention slowly, typically from the crown of the head down through all of the extremities, right through the fingers, through the toes. Just slowly passing our attention, our mindfulness, across all parts of the body. And just checking to see if we're inadvertently, unknowingly gripping or holding tension, which is unnecessary. So as we start from the crown, passing, very slowly across the forehead and all the way around, 360. The head, the face, forehead, eyes, just everywhere, but systematically, just very good to very intentionally move from place to place and check and release if there's unnecessary holding. Just keep checking, keep releasing. So I'll go into silence and we can do this for the next few minutes. If we happen to move maybe quicker than the time that I'm giving, before I start giving more suggestions, once you get down to the fingertips and toes, go in reverse. Just we work our way up the body. Same thing, it's just a mindfulness of the body. And in fact, we could do this for the whole meditation. I find a very effective, very settling, very composing meditation in and of itself. But we'll be just doing a few minutes, so I'll go into silence. this type of practice of body sweeping can also just really help us get connected with the feeling tone of the body. Oftentimes we're dwelling so much up in our intellect, in our head, that we're only aware of our body when something stands out. Either some sort of more than usual pain or pleasure, and then we notice. Otherwise, a lot of the time, at least I know for myself, I'm not really aware of the body. And as a meditation object, the body is I feel really quite marvelous because it doesn't think. It has sensations, but it doesn't think. We think about the body, but the body itself doesn't think, which may sound funny, but this is very helpful from a meditating perspective. Just be with the sensation of the body, and when the mind starts to think about it, we can just gently lay that aside and go back to the feeling, just noticing, witnessing the feeling tone. Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it comfortable? Is it uncomfortable? Energetically, do we feel energized or tired? And just to make a mental note without judging, whether cool is good or cool is bad, warm is good, warm is bad. Just you spend a few minutes, a couple of minutes, just noticing these, the tones of the body, the experience. What does the body feel like right now? If we're experiencing any physical discomfort, which is, I think I mentioned a few minutes ago, is really natural when we try to sit still for prolonged periods before long. That's why we tend to change postures a lot throughout our day and night. But if there is any physical discomfort that's standing out, and if it especially if it begins to feel as if it's kind of taking over our experience. Yes. Look around, search the body for a place that isn't uncomfortable. It's not to suppress or repress the uncomfortable experience or feeling, but it's also just to find a place, perhaps that is okay. It's either neutral or pleasure. There might even be a pleasant feeling in another part of the body. And to gently rest our attention on that area. And if we are able to do that, if that is an experience that we do find, and then I suggest toggling, switching slowly back and forth between the area that's uncomfortable and the area that's comfortable. Just slowly switch our attention between the two. In the Buddha's teaching on the foundations of mindfulness, or the frames of reference with mindfulness. So we have body, feeling, and then the mind, as was mentioned in the chanting, and then the various things that come and go in the mind. So what we've been doing these last several minutes is mindfulness of body, and then I introduced the mindfulness of feeling. And feeling in our tradition is it pleasant, painful, or neutral? Just a rather neutral sensation. So right there, we're skillfully using the way the Buddha encouraged us to frame our attention. A way of skillfully containing the mind, our attention, so it's not scattered. intentionally not mentioned the breathing yet, mindfulness of breathing. And perhaps we've already naturally begun to notice just that gentle flow of the in-breath and out-breath. So now that we're in tune with the body, perhaps in tune with the sensations of the body, the feeling tone, now let's place a little bit more attention just on the in-breath and out-breath. Trying to note the very beginning of the breath, the middle point, and the end of the breath, and then as it turns around, goes from being an in-breath, turns around to an out-breath. The beginning, note the middle, note the end. And if the mind gets pulled away, we gently return to the breath again. It's very natural for the thinking mind. So I'll practice like this for the next several minutes. So in this tradition, we generally just, instead of controlling the breath, we just witness whatever the natural breathing is. And instead of trying to make the breath long, trying to make the breath short, deep, shallow, that's not wrong. Some people actually teach that, but more often than not, we're just emphasizing, or here again I'll use that word I've used a couple of times, witnessing what's there instead of creating. chanted the teaching on mindfulness of breathing at the beginning of this evening, two of the aspects that perhaps we remember is instruction to, as we're breathing, contemplate. To contemplate. So it's not just mindful of the breath, but to contemplate, for instance, one of them was impermanence, the impermanence of experience, or the impermanence of something. We can actively reflect on the changingness of all things. Using the breath as and body sensations as our meditation object, we can actively note the change in the speed of the breath, the depth of the breath, strength, to actively notice, proactively notice changes in the sensation of the body, the feelings that change, the feeling tone. What might be pleasant 1 minute, 10 minutes later might be unpleasant. The changing energy in the body. Anything that we notice is changed, to contemplate that as a experience. This deepens our gut knowledge that things change, everything changes, not just intellectually, but through experience. We see that nature, this is the reality of change. And one of the other instructions was to contemplate cessation, the cessation of experience, which very clearly, obviously relates to change. Things do cease. This flow of change. So we're using the calm that begins to settle during a meditation like this, the clarity, and then directing, using that mindfulness to contemplate experience in a way that will lead to release, non-clinging, non-grasping, deep understanding of the reality of being a living being on this planet. So for the next several minutes, perhaps use those two, either one or the other, or you can, because they're related, impermanence and cessation, maybe explore keeping an eye out for those things. adjusting our senses. If we had our eyes closed, we're opening eyes, and moving the body. Coming out of formal meditation, but mindfulness can be always in tune with what's going on around us. So we'll chant one of the reflections before we close the evening. So in the same book on page 43, we'll chant in English the four boundless qualities, Brahma Viharas, these four wholesome qualities. Excuse me. Loving kindness, compassion, gladness or empathetic joy. And then the last one is equanimity, balance, balanced state of being. Page 43 in English. Now let us make the four boundless qualities shine forth. I will abide, pervading 1/4 with a heart imbued with loving kindness. Likewise a second, likewise a third, likewise a fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4 with a heart imbued with compassion. Likewise a second, likewise a third, likewise a fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with compassion, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4 with a heart imbued with gladness. Likewise a second, likewise a third, likewise a fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with gladness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4 with a heart imbued with equanimity. Likewise a second, likewise a third, likewise a fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with equanimity, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. We'll chant the closing homage in Pali and English. That's on page 16 in the same book.
Sukatipanno